Hello there, you are now with me, Henigui, for TVS Nightline. Among the headlines tonight, Premier arrives in Bali. Expediting export of Sarawak's renewable energy to Singapore. And on world news, 47 mosques and 3 churches were damaged in Gaza Strip. Continuous Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip since October 7th have led to the destruction of 47 mosques and damage to 3 churches. In addition to that, a total of 203 schools and 80 government buildings were also destroyed.
Meanwhile, the number of medical personnel killed had reached 116, along with 18 members of rescue teams and civil defense crews and 35 journalists. The Palestinian death toll from Israeli bombardment in the Gaza Strip has climbed to 8,306. The fatalities include 3,457 children and 2,136 women, while more than 21,048 people were injured. Gaza's 2.3 million residents are also grappling with shortages of food, water, fuel and medicine due to Israel's blockade of the enclave. Only a few aid trucks have crossed into Gaza since the opening of the Rafah crossing point last weekend. The Israeli army has widened its air and ground attacks on Gaza Strip, which has been under relentless airstrikes since October 7th.
Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg has landed in Bali to participate in the upcoming World Hydropower Conference WHC scheduled for tomorrow. His arrival took place at approximately 6:45 p.m. and was marked by a welcoming dinner hosted by Sarawak Energy Berhad. Subsequently, he received a briefing from its group CEO, Dato' Sharbini Suhaili. For more updates, we have our reporter on the site, Douglas Elliott.
It will be a jam-packed day for the Premier, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, at the 9th World Hydropower Congress WHC 2023, whereby in the morning he will have a closed-door meeting with the President of International Hydropower Association and former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull. And afterwards, he will join the ASEAN High-Level Dialogue Forum before the big opening event, where he will deliver his address to an international audience, which will also be attended by the President of Indonesia, Joko Widodo himself, on Sarawak's renewable energy endeavour, especially in hydropower. Now, earlier I just chatted with the Group CEO of Sarawak Energy Berhad, Dato' Sharbini Suhaili, and here's what he said about the momentous occasion. Let's have a listen.
So indeed, it's a great honor to have our Premier on the same stage as the President of Indonesia, Pak Jokowi, and he will talk about what I've mentioned earlier on, about our shift towards hydropower and our drive towards a more greener and sustainable future for everybody by leveraging on the hydropower potential that we have, and because of that hydropower potential, we are able to explore other renewable energy sources, like solar, like even hydrogen and whatnot. And so he'll be sharing that, and I think it's a great honor for our Premier to be on the same stage.
Right, Sharbini himself will join a plenary session tomorrow in the morning as well to share on Sarawak Energy's role in shaping the hydropower landscape in Sarawak. Let's have a look.
So I'll be sharing, the development of hydropower we have done in Sarawak. We have the strategic shift to hydropower in the mid-1980s, and how we have actually developed a number of hydropower projects that allow us to change or elevate our generation mix, from 92% hydrocarbon in 2010 to 70% renewable hydropower in 2015. So that allows us to actually reduce the carbon emission intensity of our grid by 72% from 2010 to 2020. So and it helps as well to help Malaysia to achieve its COP21 targets and help. And the next step for us is actually to share our renewable energy with our neighbors. You know, we have been exporting power to Singapore, to Indonesia since 2016, West Kalimantan. Next year we will export to Sabah. We have a power purchase agreement with PEA, power exchange agreement with Sabah Electricity. So next year we export to Sabah. We're talking to Brunei, and we are also talking to Singapore for an undersea power export to Singapore. And so the idea is for us to share our renewable energy that we are blessed with our neighbors, so that we can help them to do their energy transition as well, so that the whole region can have their own energy transition. Yeah? And at the same time, it will allow us to kickstart the ASEAN power grid, which we have been talking about since 2009. So we believe that Sarawak Energy today is leading the development of the Borneo grid, yeah, and by connecting to West Kalimantan, to Sabah, to Brunei, and later on to Singapore, and that will then expand to the Trans-ASEAN power grid once we connect to Singapore, and we hope that the whole region will be interconnected, where we can share our renewable energy sources with our neighbors, and as I said, help them transition into a more green economy.
The biennial event is expected to gather over 1,000 experts, industry leaders, as well as players in the renewable energy field. And definitely do stay tuned with us here on TVS as we bring you all the latest updates real time. Zal Salit and Zaim Zarfan, TVS Bali.
Tokyo stocks dropped on Monday as investors sat on their hands ahead of central bank meetings in Japan and the United States, and as the Middle East crisis weighed on the market. The benchmark Nikkei 225 index fell 0.95% or 294.73 points to 30,696.96, while the broader Topics index lost to 1.04% or 23.41 points at 2,231.24.
The Bank of Japan, BOJ, will conclude a two-day policy meeting on Tuesday, while the U.S. Federal Reserve will make a rate decision on Wednesday. The U.S. Federal Reserve will keep its key interest rate on hold on November 1st and may wait longer than previously thought before cutting it, according to economists in a Reuters poll, as the central bank's higher-for-longer message gains traction. Among individual shares, Hino Motors tumbled 18.67% to 435.2 yen, just above its daily limit low after the automaker flagged an annual net loss, changing the forecast from a profit. The automaker's index lost 2.83%, the most among the Tokyo Stock Exchange's 33 industry sub-indexes, with Toyota Motor losing 2.44%. Omron fell to its daily limit, tanking 15.83% after the healthcare equipment maker cut its annual profit forecast.
At least 4 people were killed in the southern Philippines as millions participated in village leader elections, which were marked by the months of polling-related violence on Monday. Security forces were on high alert for the nationwide vote, featuring over 336,000 council positions.
2 were killed in a shootout between rival supporters in Maguindanao del Norte and another fatality in a gunfight in Lanao del Norte. These incidents highlight the ongoing problem of election-related violence in the country, with a notorious history including the 2009 Maguindanao massacre. Leading up to the recent vote, there were 30 confirmed election-related violence incidents, primarily in Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Prior data showed 8 people killed and 7 injured in such violence from late August to late October. These elections were crucial for higher-level politicians and marked the first village election since 2018 due to postponements for government reasons. To secure polling stations in over 42,000 villages, more than 300,000 police officers and soldiers were deployed.
Now, the construction of Bintulu-Jepak Bridge is now almost 65.2% completed. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahamba, said the bridge, which is expected to be completed in 2025, was reported to be 0.62% ahead of the initial target of 65.1%.
I am very pleased with the progress. At the moment, the schedule was 65.1, actually 65.72, so ahead of 0.62%. So I'm very happy with the progress. There are some teething problems we anticipated, which may cause a bit of problem later on, but they have worked out. The contractor and JKI will work out the schedule to make sure that the anticipated problem will be able to be overcome.
The cable-stayed bridge will not only be a new landmark for Bintulu, but will also give positive impact to the development projects and increase socio-economic activities in the area.
And this is supposed to be completed by October 2024. So by the time you have a very beautiful landmark in Bintulu, so it's a game changer for the town.
He was met by the reporters after a briefing in regards to the development of Package 5 of the Bintulu-Jepak Bridge construction project at its construction site in Bintulu on Monday. The 1,048-metre-long bridge spanning the Kuala Kemenak River will have 4-lane road with a bridge over the traffic intersection of Jalan Tun Ahmad Zaidi, Jalan Tun Razak and Jalan Abang Galau, along with a 4 kilometres connecting road.
The Sarawak Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment (MINTRAD) is channeling 60 million ringgit to entrepreneurs through the Sarawak Micros Credit Scheme. Deputy Premier of Sarawak cum MINTRAD Minister Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said the loan scheme is intended to aid B40 entrepreneurs as well as micro and medium business owners to sustain their businesses.
Awang Tengah said the loan is open to all races up to a maximum of 50,000 ringgit.
Peruntukan itu disalurkan kepada kementerian kita, tetapi yang melaksana ialah Agrobank dan ECDC. Mereka boleh buat permohonan secara manual kah ataupun secara online.
He added MINTRAD also introduced several initiatives such as the loan scheme for small and medium industry, SPIKS. SPIKS serves as aid to Bumiputra SME owners to be used as capital, equipment purchase or business premise renovations. The Sarawak government also allocated 80.7 million ringgit for the interest rate subsidy scheme for 3.5 years to successful SMEs through the Special Relief Fund Scheme, Targeted Relief and Recovery Fund and Penjana Tourism Facility. In connection to this, he called on all local entrepreneurs to take advantage of the allocation given to the state government.
Coming into the second week of election campaigning, the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS machinery will focus its efforts on covering every inch of the Jepak constituency. Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB Vice President Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan, who is also Jepak Election Director for GPS, said the main agenda is to introduce GPS's candidate to voters and to deliver the message offered in the manifesto.
Kita mahu supaya mesej kita sampai. Maklumlah kadang-kadang banyak yang diputar-pelit. Kadang-kadang macam-macam. Termasuk dalam sosial media macam-macam. Ada yang mungkin benar dan kebanyakannya tidak benar. Ada yang berbentuk fitnah sahaja. Jadi kita mahu supaya kita dapat menerangkan apa dasar-dasar. Kenapa penting untuk mereka memilih GPS sebagai wakil mereka, supaya mereka tidak akan tersisih daripada arus pembangunan. Yang penting ialah apa yang kita lancar, seperti yang termaktub dalam manifesto yang saya lancarkan semalam. Itu adalah komitmen kita, dan kita mahu wakil rakyatnya adalah daripada.
On Sunday, GPS launched its manifesto for the Jepak by-election, which offered infrastructure and socio-economic development for the constituents. The Fortune Thrust manifesto also promises the construction of affordable housing, increasing the resettlement and village expansion scheme, as well as assistance in repairing and construction of longhouses.
A total of 98 housing units in Jepak Jaya will be completed by the end of 2025. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said the Phase 1 housing units equipped with 3 bedrooms will prioritise the residents of Jepak.
Untuk fasa pertama ini, ianya melibatkan 98 unit, ya, 98 unit. Dan pada keseluruhannya untuk fasa pertama ini ia dapat menampung 800 lebih unit, 800 unit. Untuk fasa pertama ini yang untuk 98 unit ini dijangka akan dapat siap pada tahun
2025.
Hujung tahun 2025. Jadi ini adalah merupakan projek yang dibiayai oleh kerajaan negeri sepenuhnya.
He was met when visiting the Bintulu Development Authority BDA Model House in Kampung Jepak, Bintulu on Monday. Meanwhile, BDA General Manager Dato' Muhammad Yaakob Kari said the construction of the housing project has commenced since April this year. According to him, the housing project is a long-term project in the Jepak Jaya Master Plan.
As anticipated floods approach, Sarawak Social Welfare Department SWD is prepared to activate 627 temporary evacuation centres capable of sheltering 162,091 evacuees statewide. Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development Minister Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah said 4 of these centres can accommodate over 1,000 individuals.
Meanwhile, SWD deploys 541 staff, including psychologists, counsellors and officers, alongside 1,443 volunteers. Additionally, 252 suppliers are designated to provide food to disaster victims.
Malaysia, during a joint press conference between Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim and Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, announced its intention to expedite the export of renewable energy from Sarawak and Peninsular Malaysia to Singapore. Anwar emphasised that both nations share a common objective of transitioning to a low-carbon, sustainable future. Consequently, both leaders affirmed their commitment to collaborate on the co-development of renewable energy and cross-border electricity trading.
On the renewable energy, of course, there will be commitment on the part of Malaysia to supply, because it would be of immense help. That is one of the reasons why you have increased investments into Malaysia, including data centers being set up. And our commitment to accelerate the proposal by Sarawak to export energy to Indonesia and, in this case, to Singapore, which we have agreed.
Leaders acknowledged the MOU between Singapore Power and Tenaga Nasional Berhad for a second interconnector. They highlighted the upgraded Plentong Woodlands interconnector and shared goals of regional interconnectivity through initiatives like the LTMS PIP and the ASEAN Power Grid, and future collaborations in renewable energy and carbon-related initiatives, including assistance for Singapore to import renewable energy from Sarawak.
Now, the government assures the prices of chicken will not abruptly spike once the subsidy rate on the raw material is abolished effective Wednesday. According to the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Sri Muhammad Sabu, he assures the chicken price will stay at a reasonable rate.
Yakin ianya kita tak boleh dapat agak berapa, tapi ianya dalam keadaan kawal, insyaAllah di bawah harga shilling, insyaAllah. Pihak kita telah berdialog dengan pihak pembekal. Mereka sendiri mengatakan mereka jual sekarang harga yang agak murah jauh daripada harga shilling, maka harganya akan stabil bila diapungkan nanti.
He spoke during a special press conference held to announce the abolishment of the price control and subsidy for chicken at the Farmers Association LPP Tower on Monday. Additionally, the government is committed in acquiring additional chicken supply from external sources if shortages do occur.
Kerajaan juga akan meluaskan akses kepada bekalan ayam melalui jualan agro madani dan jualan rahmah secara berterusan di seluruh negara bagi memberikan pilihan dan jaminan kepada rakyat untuk mendapatkan bekalan ayam pada harga yang berpatutan dan di bawah harga shilling semasa. Di samping itu, melalui sesi libat urus bersama pemain industri pada 22 Oktober 2023, kerajaan telah mendapatkan komitmen daripada pihak industri supaya harga ayam di ladang yang dikeluarkan tidak akan mencatat kenaikan yang ketara sehingga membebankan pengguna.
Secretary General from the Ministry of Consumer and Living Costs, KPDN, Datuk Muhammad Sayuti Bakar, also assured that raw chicken will not be sold beyond the set ceiling price by implementing an intervention measure stipulated under the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011. Any violations will be taken action by the ministry.
Still on the same development, consumers in Sarawak are urged to avoid panic buying following the government's decision to lift the subsidies and price controls for chicken effective this Wednesday. Sarawak Food Industry, Commodity and Regional Development Minister Dr. Sri Dr. Stephen Rindi Utom said, although the announcement might result in higher retail chicken prices in the state, the ministry would continue to monitor the floating chicken prices to protect the interests of consumers.
According to him, the announcement, however, does not affect the supply in the state, as Sarawak can still meet consumers' demand for fresh chickens. Currently, the retail price of chicken in Sarawak varies according to districts from RM9.80 to RM13.90 per kilogram.
2 new cases of monkeypox, mpox, involving 2 local men have been detected in Malaysia, bringing the cumulative number of cases to 4 this year. Health Director General Dr. Muhammad Razi Abu Hassan in a statement today said the 3rd case was confirmed on October 21st after the man showed symptoms of fever and blisters on October 6th.
The 4th case is a close contact to the 3rd case and was confirmed positive on October 23rd, with the patient also exhibiting the same symptoms on October 6th. Dr. Muhammad Razi said the 2 new cases were not related to the 1st and 2nd cases reported in July.
The Director of the Sarawak Health Department, Dr. Ui Chu Hak, acknowledges and addresses the issues, expressing regret on behalf of the department and emphasizing the importance of punctuality in healthcare service provision. On October 27th, numerous patients submitted complaints that they had to wait for almost 2 hours until the first patient was called for consultation at a crowded clinic. Operating hours began at 8 a.m., but the doctor only showed up at 9:45 a.m. In the apology statement, Dr. Oy said immediate investigation was conducted and corrective measures have been taken to prevent any recurrence of the malpractice. Now on to some global affairs. A total of 13 casualties and 50 injuries were reported when two trains collided in southeast India. Officials said on Monday the accident occurred late Sunday after one of the passenger trains overshot a signal between the two towns in Andhra Pradesh state.
A preliminary investigation found that human error had led to the collision, the Railway Ministry said in a statement. Top local government official Naga Lakshmi S. assured the press that rescue operations are going on. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he had spoken with the country's railway minister about the unfortunate derailment, adding that authorities are providing all possible assistance to those affected. India has one of the world's largest rail networks and has seen several disasters over the years, the worst in 1981 when a train derailed while crossing a bridge in Bihar state, killing an estimated 800 people. In June, a three-train collision killed nearly 300 people in Odisha state.
Singapore and Malaysia are conducting a feasibility study to enhance the special economic zone, says ecosystem between both countries, aiming to determine the future direction of the economic zone. Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has indicated that they will sign a memorandum of understanding based on the study's findings, with the goal to completing the study by early next year.
Preliminarily, I think there are three things we want to do. One, improve the flow of goods between the two sides, because SEZ means special economic zone. It may mean special tax arrangements and bonded warehouses and therefore more easy border flows. Secondly, easier arrangements for flow of people who have to work on both sides of the causeway. Then they can go in and go out, and then the companies in the SEZ, the investor companies, will be able to get the personnel they need and the right mix of professionals, skilled workers, and other general workers. And then thirdly, for the SEZ to enhance the ecosystem of the Iskandar development region as well as of Singapore.
He said during a joint press conference with Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim in Singapore on Monday. Both leaders have also expressed their satisfaction with the ongoing cooperation under the purview of the Joint Ministerial Committee for Iskandar Malaysia JMCIM and welcomed the progress made by the respective industrial cooperation, immigration, transportation links, innovation, tourism and environment work groups. The Johor-Singapore says will tap into the complementary strength of both countries to foster economic connectivity by improving cross-border flows of goods, investments and people.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And don't forget to catch the exhilarating action of the Sarawak International Dragon Boat Race live on TVS social media from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. from Friday to Sunday. And that's all the updates for TVS Nightline tonight. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching and have a good night.